Very much, and unfortunately, we do have to talk about the coronavirus because the U.S. just recorded its worst week for new cases since this pandemic began. More than 500,000 new COVID infections. Numbers are rising in 43 states, and roughly 1/3 of all new cases are coming from the Midwest. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, is in Minneapolis. David, officials in that part of the country are sounding a lot more worried these days.
They are. It is below freezing here in Minnesota, and COVID-19 hospitalizations are at a record high. In fact, the governor is asking people on both sides of the political spectrum not to attend political rallies leading up to Election Day. I want to start this morning in Wisconsin, the state right next door, where the situation is dire. The state of Wisconsin set new records for cases, hospitalizations, and deaths yesterday. And now a fifth patient is being treated at a field hospital set up outside of Milwaukee. Across the Midwest, 7 states are reporting a record number of coronavirus hospitalizations. Illinois is now averaging more new coronavirus cases per day than at any other point in the pandemic. And in Chicago, the daily increase in COVID-related hospitalizations has more than doubled since October began. So the governor is now shutting down all indoor dining starting this Friday.
Chicago seemed to have this more under control than other regions of Illinois, but that's no longer the case.
There are stories of hope, and we want you to hear them. Meet Carmen Lerma. She's 52 years old, a community leader from Milwaukee. She was hospitalized with coronavirus in July. She had passed out at home. She says when she woke up, she was in the hospital, and she was already hooked up to breathing machines.
They said to me, you know, you're lucky you have a guardian angel watching over you because your body oxygen was at 31% when you got here. That is to be brain dead or on a coma.
Carmen spent 45 days on a ventilator in the ICU. She only had minor underlying conditions like high blood pressure, but the virus permanently damaged her lungs. The doctors told her she needed a double lung transplant. And just last week, Carmen had a successful operation, but she has a long road to recovery.
You think this is a joke. You think, oh, this is not, oh, it's just like the virus. Oh, it's like the flu. No, it's not like a flu. It doesn't feel like a flu. I was pretty healthy. And look at me.
You know, contact tracing works. Carmen got a call from her local health department saying she had been exposed to someone who had the virus, so she should quarantine and get tested. And right around then, she started feeling sick. Real quick, we have news on the vaccine front. Pfizer says they're not going to have the results of their vaccine trial before the election, but they are still expecting to ask the FDA for an emergency use authorization order to get it into use by the end of November. Gayle.
All right, David, still thinking about Carmen's story. She's very lucky. Thank you very much.